Well, hello there, and welcome back to the Chris Seibert Show. It is officially week number 22, and I'm so happy to have you guys back. If you continue to keep tuning in, it's awesome. It's really, really cool to be able to just literally sit down at my dining room table at my apartment in Washington Township near Broad Ripple, talk about my life in the last 7 days, and have some of you guys out there who occasionally tune in to each individual episode, maybe this week after week, maybe just spontaneously if you have nothing else to listen to, if you're into podcasts, I don't know. But anyways, I am so grateful and I'm so thankful, and just thank you. It means the world to me to see that some people enjoy this, or are listening to it, watching it, if it's on the YouTube version, not sure, but no, it's just really cool. The cool thing too about this week is things are kind of back to normal. I have the video version for you guys on YouTube, my YouTube channel, Christopher Seibert, if you would rather watch that instead of just listen to it. So yeah, check that out as well. But yes, we're back. Go ahead and looking at the analytical data for week number 21, there was 4 total streams across the 7 different platforms that my host on Anchor has informed me about. I don't think it tells me each individual platform of what the stream came from, but there was 4 of you out there who were listening to this. So thank you, as always, and I really do appreciate it. It's awesome. And like I said kind of in the beginning, it's cool to see that there's people regularly out there that listen to this, and it makes all the time and everything worth it, and it's just fun to do this every single Thursday, so thank you. We'll go ahead and get into the personal life now. In the last 7 days, and something that seems to just kind of be in the norm right now, since I haven't really been doing Welcome to My Weekends, nothing really crazy has happened to make it worth recording. So I've just been kind of discussing it with you guys. This past weekend, there was a couple things when I was doing my notes this week that I felt like I needed to bring up. And then that was that on Saturday, early afternoon to late evening, my really good friend Wyndham had a little small gathering at her apartment in Indianapolis. It wasn't specifically Indianapolis, it was Castleton, but I like to keep things on the DL because if anybody's out there that's crazy, I don't want them to get too much information. But like I said, I'm already here spitting out my life, so what's the difference, right? But no, Wyndham had a small get together and it was really cool. There was an assortment of food. A lot of people provided drinks as well. I, on my behalf, contributed and brought jungle juice, something that I've never made before, but from the sound of the individuals there, it was very, very good and very, very scary because they couldn't taste the alcohol, which was fantastic. But my girlfriend Emily also attended with me and she brought chicken casserole, but it was just really cool to catch up, see everybody, talk, see what's happening, and just relax and, have some drinks here or there and then eat some awesome food. So it was great. I wanted to make sure to bring that up this week and talk about how fun it was. Sorry, I had a little bit of an ear itch. But yes, along with that, Emily and I got the opportunity, and this is what we were looking most forward to for the past few weeks, and that was the opportunity to watch The Haunting of Bly Manor. For those of you out there that have watched The Haunting of Hill House, oh my gosh, was that not good or what? I absolutely love scary stuff. Just the feeling of being scared, I don't know what it is. If it's in real life, I really don't like that whole aspect of it, but if I'm watching a scary movie and kind of feel frightened, it's just I don't know if it's adrenaline, I don't even know the emotions, it's just really exciting. But no, we watched the Haunting of Bly Manor. Surprisingly though, or at least I thought, it wasn't as scary as The Haunting of Hill House, but it was still very good. It had its frightening moments, its jump scares, it's like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen next, kind of just keeping you on the edge of your seat. And sometimes, like, when you got your little blanket, one eye out from your blanket. But no, I really did enjoy it, and it was a really good scare and watch. But yeah, no, Emily and I finished the whole season all weekend. We watched it all weekend when we could. We watched it once we got back from the get-together with Wyndham, and then, of course, on Sunday and some on Friday. So all together, fantastic last weekend. It was great, and I'll be getting into what's happening next weekend. But first things first, I just really wanted to update you guys. I talked in week 21 about this new venture that I'm starting. investing, and I don't want you to think it's like some business or something crazy. It's really not too crazy, but I talked this week with the friends that I'm involved with, and unfortunately we are going to leak it next Thursday instead. So it's still on the DL, but keep up to date, stay up to date, keep listening and tuning in, because I will be talking about it, and I'm very excited for this. It's something new and different, but to be able to be a part of it is what makes it really exciting and fun. So next week, I'll be breaking the ice and talking to you guys about it. So I'm really excited to share that with you guys. And then, of course, getting back. So this coming weekend, I am going somewhere I've never gone before, something that is going to be an amazing time, and I'm really looking forward to it. And that is that I'll be visiting my girlfriend's hometown, and I will be staying with her parents. I'll be seeing where she grew up. So all in all, it's going to be a great weekend. I'm leaving tomorrow, which is when you guys are listening to this, if you decide to listen to it on Friday, but I'll be heading out Friday and then getting back Sunday evening. So all together, that's been my personal life in a glance in the last 7 days and what's to come next. And yeah, that's what I got for you guys. Stock market segment has been just killing it. We talked a lot about it last week. Talking a lot about it more this week. And again, something I want to tell you guys, if you tune in specifically for this part, or if you're enjoying this segment, be on the lookout, because hopefully, fingers crossed, I will be starting a new series in December. I will be living at a new apartment, so I'll kind of have to set things up and get things rearranged. But before the new year begins, I will be bringing to my YouTube channel a series where I really talk just about my stock journey and stock growth. And this isn't like this where I'm sitting down. I will be actually showing you my holdings through a software program, showing you what I do, talking about it, sharing with you each week kind of like how much I'm investing, the dividend. It's just really going to be helpful for people out there who are kind of really wanting to learn more maybe about personal finance, seeing and understanding what stocks to look out for. I'm really not still a certified investor, but it's just such a fun hobby of mine. I'm always checking my stock app, Robinhood, Monday through Friday, even on the weekends. I'm checking forms. It's just really, really fun. And it's cool to see money being made while you're not even doing anything. So like I said, be on the lookout for that. I'll also be talking about budgeting and other little things like that, but I'm still just holding off, waiting a few more or a couple more months per se, because I've been doing a lot of budgeting on Google Sheets that I've kind of put together, and I would love to share that with you guys, and then also eventually just segue into stocks and dividends and all that. But just to kind of recap, I'm not going to cover too much what I talked about last week on week number 21, but if you can recall, I kind of just shared my idea and thoughts about dividends and my holdings. I ended up how do I say this? I used to have 31 total holdings back before September 27th, I think is when I made that post. And then I ended up selling almost all of those except a couple and adding on to make it a complete total of just 10 holdings that I hold now. But here is the kicker. Here is the big announcement that I have this week. And here is something that I hope doesn't bite me or kick me in the rear. I sold, and I want to make sure that I emphasize this, a portion. I didn't sell the whole entire stake, but I sold a portion of Blink Charging. And I got to say that it's been a really hard week for me because I did that, but it was something that just made the most sense, something that was logical. And I still believe in Blink. Believe it or not, Blink Charging has changed the course of my entire life. I took the risk back in January and even up to February of just investing a lot of money into this company. And at the time, it was a penny stock. I mean, it was around $2 when I bought into this. And I bought $5,000 worth of Blink, which pretty much at the time equated to around $5,000 of an investment. And it's a penny stock. and just very risky. I remember too at the time, I think my dad was very skeptical that I was doing that, just because it's like, that's a lot of money. You know, you're 24 years old, and I turned 25 in July, but he's just like, that's, if you lose that, you're not going to get that back, so just be cautious. But little did we know here later, all the way fast track to, close to the end of the year, here it is in October, that Blink would go up, I want to say 200, maybe even 300 and something percent. And I obviously continued to keep investing throughout the course of this year, but I stopped investing at Blink after I hit 2,000 total shares. And the main reason why this week, the last couple weeks, I've just been thinking about it a lot. Blink was about 70% of my portfolio. And, I'm not saying the market's going to crash. I'm not saying that Blink's a bad company or anything like that, but I figured it's kind of like a game show where a lot of people say I'd take the money and run, especially in Vegas. It was one of those things where I've made more than I could have ever imagined from Blink. Why just not sell a portion of that, pocket some of that money into my savings account, since it's going to be a capital gains tax once, the tax season comes around, and diversify that winning into these other great stocks that I own, and still hold a portion of Blink. And that's what I said. I didn't sell all of it, just a portion of it. So Blink is still my largest holding now. I have about $4,000 worth of Blink that I own. I think my investment now is a little over 1,000, but it's still up very, very high. So it says pretty much my whole overall market total, or how much I own of Blink, is around $4,000. But what I ended up doing was, like I said, I sold Blink. I sold it at $9 a share. This was back earlier this week on Tuesday. And for 1,500 shares of Blink being sold at $9 a share, that equated to $13,500. This was $13,500 that I made from investing. And this was in the course of a year. Like I said, very rare that happens, but I got extremely lucky. So what I ended up doing with that $13,500 was, again, I deposited the $3,000 into my savings account for when tax season rolls around. I'll be able to pay that for a capital gains tax. But if you take the remaining $10,500, I ended up dividing that by 8, since that is the 8 different companies I wanted to invest in, and it ended up being around $1,312.45. So what I did was I took that amount, because what's nice with Robinhood now is you can buy fractional shares. You don't have to just particularly buy one share. You can buy a portion of a share. So I ended up buying more of SPY, an ETF, Chevron, an energy company, AT&T, which we all know, which is telecom, Coca-Cola, beverage, McDonald's, fast food, Home Depot, home improvement, Apple, consumer goods and software, and then more of PNC, a bank that I use and that I've come to love ever since I've moved to Indianapolis. So again, it's been hard these last couple days, but I figured, why not play it safe? Take my winnings, still holding 500 shares, which is a lot of shares of Blink, believe it or not, at around this price range, and just diversifying the rest into other blue chip, good growth stocks with great dividends. And I want to share this with you guys because, believe it or not, I'm slowly working my way up to my dividend and, I guess, just journey of investing. As the year comes to an end, I'll be able to share and show you the numbers and everything. And then by the end of 2021, we'll see where I start in 2020. So again, it's kind of like a time lapse, or just a time of, similar to the Chris Seibert show. This is week number 21. We started back in, was it May or something, when we did week number 1. So just sharing the growth and the journey. But before I ended up selling Blink on Tuesday, my dividend income yearly was $377. That was $377 of passive income. It's not guaranteed money, but currently right now with the dividends that the stakes that I hold, that's how much I was going to be receiving per year. Now, after diversifying my, I guess, winnings or the money I made off of Blink and investing that into the 8 different companies, my new yearly dividend income, passive income, is $758. So I almost doubled it in a way. So you can see now how just that smart idea was able to create more passive income so quickly. And I told you guys this as well in week number 21, that every single week I take $100 and I invest it. And what I do is I divide it by 8. And at the time, that was the only companies. I didn't want to invest in 9, Realty Income, which I haven't talked about, but I own also Realty Income, and that's a real estate company. But I had a lot of Realty Income shares, not so much in the other 8. So now, after buying $1,000 more of each of these companies minus Realty Income, I'm going to be using that $100 a week and dividing it by 9, which would equal $11.11 that I will buy spend and buy each a stock or a particular fractional share of each one of these companies per week. So the dividend will continue to keep increasing like a snowball effect, but now I kind of have more of a head start. And again, it's crazy to think that we would not be here if I did not make that big investment back in January and partially through February with Blink. No one would have knew. I didn't even know that would happen. It was a very big risk, but it all paid off. The one thing I want to also comment too on, and something that really hurts the most, is I really rallied behind Blink. I want to make sure that I emphasize that I'm not saying it's a bad company, that it frightens me or anything like that. It's just more of a play it safe card. But Blink changed everything for me this year. I was sharing it a lot on my Snapchat. I was telling everybody about it. I was talking about it. And it was so cool because I know so many people out there that have ended up buying Blink Charging. And hopefully, if they listen to me, and I know some people did when they bought it at a great price, and they've made money off of that. And again, for those of you out there who have bought it, I'm not saying sell. Please don't sell. If I just personally did it because it was 70% of my stock portfolio. Again, I would say it's a little bit more risky, but think again, the higher the risk, the higher reward. But I figured it'd be just a better idea to take my winnings, a portion of them, I still own 500 shares, and diversify that into other great companies and continue to grow my stock portfolio. But again, it's just really cool. I'm really excited. And especially in December, around the time is when I hope to start the new series before the new year begins with budgeting and showing, or starting my dividend portfolio growth. We are just a couple $100 away, or a few $100 away, from almost receiving $100 a month. Once we get to $1,200 of passive income, that's $100 a month, ladies and gentlemen. If you can think about that, just starting out now, $1,200. I'm at $758 now, but we will get there in no time. And it would be really cool if we started off year end by bringing that to a $1,200. I don't think it's going to happen because, I'm starting to save more money and thinking about buying a house soon, and we'll get to more of that information later down the road when the timing's right. But just, again, it's really cool, and I'm excited to share that with you, and I'm very thankful and blessed to be able to be here now and share that information with you. And again, I hope those of you out there who have been investing regularly, or at least have taken the big step to further for in terms of retirement purposes, when you get older and stuff, to be way ahead of the game and be making money and investing in other assets and stuff. So yeah, the news segment, I don't really have a lot of news this week, actually. No news really for you guys, but yeah, I guess we'll end it here and call a social media call out. I really wanted to spend most of this episode talking about the stock market, and hopefully I was able to kind of get everything across to you guys. Something that I also want to make sure to tell you if you're here at this point in time is that if you ever have any questions or comments, feel free to either DM me on my one Instagram account, the Christopher Seibert, so that way no one can see the comment, or if you watch the YouTube version, feel free to comment below on the video with any feedback, stock stuff, any just questions or whatever. I'd be more than happy to share that with you, and I don't even have to call out your name. It's not that big of a deal, but yeah, by all means, I'm noticing it seems like the average is 4 listeners per episode, which is phenomenal, and that makes me really happy. But for those of you out there who listen every week and maybe kind of question something or have a comment, please, by all means, feel free to reach out. So just know that that option's there for you. But yes, I will go ahead and wrap things up. Short episode this week, but hey, that's fine. My YouTube channel is Christopher Seibert, S as in Sam, EIBERT. If you would like to watch the video version of the podcast, The Chris Seibert Show, my hobby Instagram is The Christopher Seibert, all one word. Again, S as in Sam, EIBERT. There you will see, I guess, kind of just quick highlights of YouTube videos before going and clicking on the link in my bio. You'll see my stock portfolio weekly. You'll also see snippets of the video version of the podcast. So, and along the lines of that, I also like to share just motivational kind of things, or I think things that kind of impact me, make me feel good in my story on that account. So if you need something, or just kind of want to find some hunger or need some motivation, that's there as well. Something I didn't talk about this episode, but Bryce and I have been working on together, is balcony conversations. You can follow us on Instagram as well. It's On a Balcony, or you can YouTube us, Balcony Conversations Podcast. Make sure podcast is at the end of conversations. And yeah, you can also find us on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Castbox. I mean, you know, all this streaming stuff. You can find us there. But last but not least, again, guys, I just really want to thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. It really means the world to me. I appreciate you guys, and it's just really fun doing these. And I continue and hope that you keep tuning in as the weeks pass, so we can grow together and you can follow my journey. But with that being said, you guys have a fantastic rest of your week, your weekend, and I will see you again next Thursday for week number 23. See you guys.